Do you love blings and rhinestone designs on your clothing? Then lovely. These are all you need to achieve that beautiful design you're seeing on that dress. Yes, you heard me. All you need is your cotton mat, your permanent adhesive vinyl, your cutting machine, of course, your transfer sheet, all the weeding tools you can lay your hands on, your scraper, and of course your computer, because that's where your software is and you're going to be creating your designs on it. And lovely, you can have that and even much more beautiful designs, because you can now create your template and make your own stencils for your rhinestone design. So if you love this and you want to know more, then subscribe and don't go anywhere. Hey lovelies, this is Annie with Annie Marie. If you're new here, you're welcome. Do well to subscribe to our channel, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. Here with me is a package by YRYM, permanent adhesive vinyl. This is a full loaded package, okay? It has all the cut settings right here for you. It comes with transparent transfer sheet, and it comes with scraper and so much more. Okay, it comes with varied colors of permanent adhesive vinyl, and we'll be using it today. I mentioned in another video that I'll be showing you guys how to create your own rhinestone template, and lucky for you guys, I was reminded by one of us, okay, a member of our community, and I did not forget. I already had it scheduled, but I had to push it forward. So Dindeni, I hope you will see this video, okay? To create these rhinestone templates, we're going to be making use of 2 permanent adhesive vinyls, because we're going to be creating 2 rhinestone templates, okay? So we're going to be using these 2. So the white vinyl is going to be for one style of rhinestone template, and the green one is going to be for another style of rhinestone template. Now for the first style of our rhinestone template, we're going to be using this green permanent adhesive vinyl, and we'll be using our cotton mat. Now this cover on our cotton mat protects it from debris and dirt, but we're going to be removing it right now because we need to place our green vinyl on it, and we're going to be leaving this white one for the second part. The vinyl will go the right side facing us and the wrong side on the mat. This is contrary to HTV, where the right side will be on the mat and the wrong side will be facing us. We will place the permanent adhesive vinyl carefully and properly on the cotton mat. Make sure that it covers the necessary area, and then we will insert it into the cotton machine. Now while inserting it, we'll make sure that we don't pass over the edge, because this cotton machine has an edge that prevents us from misaligning our cotton mat. We'll go over to our computer where we'll be creating the design that we need for our template. Now here on the computer, the white place is our silhouette cotton mat, okay? Now we're going to choose the alphabet that we need, and we're going to be looking for bold alphabets. I'm going to be choosing impact, because when you want to create rhinestone templates, you don't want to use fonts that are tiny or fonts that won't come out good, okay? So bold fonts are better off, all right? Especially for a beginner. Now I will start typing out the word baby girl. I'm going to make it 2 lines, and for every letter that I type, I'm going to give a space. Why do I leave a space? Because rhinestones need spaces in between the letters. If I don't give a space between the letters, by the time we cut out the template, they're going to be jammed together, and trust me, it's not going to look good. It's not going to give us the desired result, okay? So for every letter, I will leave a space, okay? So I'm going to type my baby at the top, and then I'll go under it and type girl. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now. And when we are through with this, we're going to look at our size. Before you go on with this, please make sure that you have measured out the length and the width that you need for your design. All right, if you're putting it on a t-shirt, if you're putting it on a dress, wherever, any kind of project, know the length and the width. Okay, now I'm going to group my words together. This is very important, all right, because you want to edit it at once. You don't want to edit the baby and the girl separately. Now I'm going to fill it up with colors because I want to be seeing it. You can see everything was white, so I'm going to fill it up with black, and then I'm going to change the cut lines and also make it black so that it will be bold enough for me to see it and I can edit it. Now looking at the words, you will see that my baby and the girl is not well centered. Like the girl is just close to the edge, and I want the girl to be on the center at the bottom of the baby. So I'm going to go on again to ungroup it, okay, because remember I grouped it. I'm going to ungroup it so that I'll be able to move the girl a little bit towards the center, and after I'm able to move it, you can see it's actually looking better now. I will still go back to regroup it, okay, so I'll go back to my options and click on group again, and we'll be good to go. Okay, whenever you're doing this kind of thing, make sure that you're looking at your design properly. Okay, don't be in a hurry to create something. So I'll go back now, regroup it, and then we'll come to the next step. This is where I'm going to start checking out my size, okay, length and width. All right, and now I'm going to be doing 4 by 5. You can do 6 inches by 6 inches. You can do, any kind of size, depends on your project. So here I am trying to stretch it out, trying to make sure that I don't miss that particular size. Okay, I have this dress that I want to apply these rhinestones on, and I'm going to be doing it at the back of the dress. I already know the back of the dress, the way it looks. It has some stitches in the middle of the dress down to the back. Now I want to space it out in a way that the BA will be on one side of the stitch and the BY will be on the other side of the stitch. The GI will go to one side and the RL will go to the other side. This is very important, okay? Measure out, look at the project before you start doing your length and the width and typing out even the words, okay? Because it needs to work out perfectly. Now, when we're through, we'll go to the next step, which is sending it to the other side of the software to give us the red lines around it, to tell us this is exactly the way it's going to cut out. And then of course we'll go over to choose the cut settings. All right, this vinyl comes with its cut setting, but I'm going to be using my own preset cut setting in my software. Okay, so you can use your own or you can use the one that the manufacturer recommends. It's up to you. And once I'm through, the next thing is to send it over to the cutting machine by clicking on send, and it will do the needful. All right, so the cutting machine is going to cut it out, and once it's done cutting it out, we are going to weed it. So it's going to take its time to do this, and we'll be good to go. It's almost done now. Yes, we're done. I'm going to click on this down arrow, bring it out from the cutting machine, and there we have it, looking beautifully cut out. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is to peel it out from the cutting mat and weed out our design. Okay, now I'm going to get my weeding tool and I'll start weeding it out. Now, contrary to HTV, we're going to be weeding out the letters, all right, and not the rest of the vinyl. This is because we need this space, we need this opening to apply our rhinestone, and you can see how easily and beautifully this particular vinyl weeds out. I really love this brand. When I ran out of this vinyl, I tried ordering it again from Amazon, but it was out of stock. I had to use another company which was also good. It came well packaged, like this one came with scraper and weeding tool and transfer sheet. It was really good. I think the company is HTV Runs. Yeah, also very good. But my favorite when it comes to permanent adhesive vinyl is also Oracle. Oracle is very, very good. Okay, I'm talking about permanent adhesive vinyls. Okay, I'm not talking about HTV. These three companies are companies that I would recommend, but my first is still YRYM, then Oracle before HTV Run. As a beginner, it's advisable for you to follow the manufacturer's cut settings. This is because you're not yet familiar or conversant with manipulations. All right, you can actually set your cut settings yourself, but for a beginner, please use the manufacturer's direction, and over time you can actually get some scraps of vinyl and test out your own cut settings. You can see how neatly this cut out. Now, it's not only about the quality of the vinyl, but it's also about your blade. Before you go into cutting any kind of vinyl, make sure that you check your blade. If your blade is old, please get a new one. Replace it, all right? This particular technique for creating rhinestone templates with this cutting machine is for the designer and the business version of this software. Now, I'm not really sure about the designer, but I'm sure of the business because that's what I use. So we're going to place our permanent adhesive vinyl on the mat, make sure that it's glued properly, and we will carefully insert it into the cutting machine, making sure that it aligns properly and it's inserted the right way. Then we'll have to go over to our computer to complete the next part of the process. Now, here on the computer, we need to go back to the design page, all right? So all we have to do is to come back here, and then we're going to start all over. Now, this second method has its own processes, but when I meant we're going to start over, I didn't mean we're going to start creating the words again. No, we're going to go over to the panel up there, and we're going to start choosing pattern, size, and so many things about the rhinestone template. Now we'll highlight the words again and regroup them, okay? So I'm going to highlight it, and once we do that, all we have to do is to go up to the panel and search through it for rhinestone. Now we're going to click on it, and this page is going to come out. It shows the rhinestone style, size, and spacing for your template. I'll click on size 10 for my rhinestone because that's the size. Click on linear to see how it's going to look on my font, and you can see the way it looks. And I'm going to click on another one, which is the circular one or the scattered one, just to see how it's going to look. Now when I click on it now, you will see how it's going to change. All right, this font will look different from this one. Now let's do that and see how it looks. All right, now I will check and see if it works for me, and if it doesn't work for me, I will check the third one. Now this is the way it looks, and this doesn't work for me. Okay, so I'll go back to the first one, which is the linear style. All right, I'll go ahead to click on it, and it will bring it back. Now this linear style works for my font, so I'm going to be working with it. I will click on the release rhinestone button, which will allow us to release our rhinestones and arrange them properly for our rhinestone template. This is very important if we need to rearrange the pattern. Now I'm going to start clicking inside the letters to release the rhinestones that do not fit the pattern of our font. Okay, remember we used a particular font for these words, okay, and this is not looking like that font. It looks different. Now as we're removing those rhinestones and keeping them on the gray area of the software, you can see the way the words are coming out beautiful. Now the B looks like B, unlike when we initially chose this rhinestone style. So I'm going to go on to do that for A. I'm going to do it for the rest of the letters in this word, just to make it look like our font. Now when you're doing this, you need to be mindful of the font that you used. All right, another thing is scripts, or yeah, it should be script fonts do not look fantastic when you use them for this rhinestone template. Okay, they are actually more difficult to choose the rhinestone style for it. Not that you cannot try, okay, you can give it a try, but I'll advise you use the script fonts that are big. All right, this looks better when you choose fonts that are big. Okay, so I will continue doing this, and I will actually do the rest of them off camera. All right, so you can see the way the B is looking now. The A is coming out great. I'm working on the B again, and by the time we finish this, believe me, it's going to look like real words instead of scattered zeros and scattered stuff everywhere. All right, now while trying to arrange your rhinestones and you happen to make any kind of mistake, all you have to do is to go right up there on that panel where there are pages, look for this arrow. This is the undo arrow. Click on it, and it will take you back a step or two depending on the steps you took before you made the mistake. That's the arrow right there, and you can make your corrections. Okay, so I'm going to undo this part and then try to get it right again. Now be mindful of the rhinestones that you're removing while you're trying to create your words and make them look exactly like your font, okay? And you need your spacings to be right, because trust me, if they cut out, it's going to be a mess if your rhinestones are not spaced out properly, okay? Now here is how it's going to look once we are done making it look exactly like our font. Isn't it beautiful? I mean, every word is now looking like a word, unlike when we initially chose the pattern for our rhinestone. It looked all scattered and messed up. It didn't even look like the words. Now let's go over to the next step. Next is to click on the send sign, and it's going to process it and send it to this page where we'll see these red lines telling us that we are ready and good to go. The next thing is to choose the cut setting for the permanent adhesive vinyl. Now I already have this thing preset in my software, but if you don't have one, you need to use the one that comes with the adhesive vinyl that you have with you. All right, once it's done, we click on send and it will be sent to the cutting machine to cut out our rhinestone template. I'll do this off camera. There we have our template already cut out. Now you can see the tiny zeros, the tiny circles in the letters, okay? We are going to start picking them out. Yes, that's the work that comes with this particular template style, all right? I'm going to be using my weeding tool to start picking it out. Now, compared to the other style, this takes a while, okay? Because they are tiny circles and you need to make sure that everything comes out, because that opening is where the rhinestones are going to be placed. Now, this is practically the same thing as the rhinestone board. I used it in my former video and I told you I was going to show you this way of making your own rhinestone template. So this is exactly like that one. The only difference is that you bought that one already made for you, but this time around you can do it yourself. So you're going to take your time to pick out these openings, these zeros, this circle, whatever you feel like calling it, but you need to take your time to do it. Another thing is that this thing is adhesive vinyl. While picking them, some of them might not want to come out. So I had this way of doing it. I just pick them out and then I use my fingers to scrape them away from the vinyl. So I'm going to go off camera to complete this. And there we have our rhinestone templates. Hooray! Yes, we did it. You can see how the template is looking very clean. The openings are so clear and ready to accept our rhinestones. It's time for the next step. We'll pick up our scissors and use it to cut off the excesses on this template. This is because we need this excess for other projects, okay? This can be used for screen printing, stencil. This can be used for designs on hard surfaces like our mugs, our cups, frames, doors, even body of cars, okay? So we need to keep them safe. And if you are an avid follower of mine, you will know that I don't like wasting materials, okay? These things cost money and we need to utilize them. We need to maximize our supplies, all right? So we need to store them, keep them safe, and use our templates. Here are our sarowski rhinestones ready to be used. We have our pencil ready to be used, our tweezer ready to be used. Now all we have to do is to place some of our rhinestones on the template away from the openings and then use our pencil to pick it up. But we need to sharpen the tip of the pencil. We need to sharpen it and make it pointed enough to pick up our rhinestones. And once we are ready, all we have to do is to start picking up the rhinestones and place it in the openings on our template. Now there is this special kind of flock HTV that is made for rhinestone templates if you don't have a stone board. Now it is not readily available for some people, and then for some people it's expensive. So I said to myself, how else can I make this? And I remembered permanent adhesive vinyl. If I can use it to create screen printing stencil, then of course I can try it out with rhinestones. Now I went on to check on YouTube and Google and I saw nobody trying this with permanent adhesive vinyl. So I decided to go ahead and do it, and believe me, it turned out well. So happy I went on to try it. Here are our two templates looking beautiful. Now this first one has our rhinestones all around the letters, okay, just at the edges of the letters and in the middle where we have some leftover vinyls. All right, it's just around the words. Now this one, because it's the original rhinestone template, created the openings, okay, exactly the size of our rhinestones for us to place our rhinestones. All right, the two templates are beautiful. Now we need to use our transfer sheet to take up our rhinestones. All right, I'm using my old transfer sheet because I've had this for a long time, so I'm going to keep this one aside because I want us to use the second one. Okay, so I'm going to keep this aside. Now I'm not using this one because I feel it's easier to use or something. No, because it goes with the dress I want to place it on. All right, because it has the openings that will allow me to align it with the back of the dress. Okay, so I'm going to pull out the transparent part of my transfer sheet and keep the backing aside, and we will gently and carefully place it on this template. This carefully and gently is very important because once you move it, it may move the rhinestones. Okay, now we're going to press on it. I didn't say move your hands around it, no, press. Okay, raise your hand, press down, raise your hands and press down. It may be a mistake to use a scraper here, just the way I just placed it on my table to collect debris and dirt instead of placing it on the backing. Whew. We need to carefully and gently start taking up the transfer sheet. Okay, we need to start pulling it away from the backing. And now we need to be mindful of the rhinestone while pulling it up, okay, because some might be left behind and you don't want your design to have gaps. So whenever we notice one is left behind on the template, all we have to do is to take it back gently and press on that particular rhinestone. Believe me, it's going to stick back on. All right, and we continue doing that. Okay, just keep checking to make sure that they are coming up. Now let me quickly change the position so that you will see how it is coming up. You can see that the rhinestone template is really working. The rhinestones are being adhered to the transfer sheet. Okay, so just keep pulling it up, keep checking for rhinestones that didn't come up, and just press down on them and they will glue on. Okay, this is going to be slow, but it's worth it, believe me. All right, so there we have it. We're done pulling out our rhinestone. Isn't this lovely? Now that we have our rhinestone design, we need to check it to make sure that all the glue sides are facing us properly. Okay, we need to make sure that they are placed well. So we use the flat side of our tweezer to start arranging them, making sure that the glue side facing us is flat, okay, and is properly placed. Then we'll use the other sharp side, the pointed side of the tweezer, to turn upside down any rhinestone that is facing us instead of the glue side. This is because we don't want a situation that when we get to the heat press and adhere our design, we will notice openings. We will notice that some rhinestones were not adhered to our project. So this is something we need to be mindful of, okay, and pay attention to it. Good news about our template is that it is reusable. All you have to do is to store it in a Ziploc bag and keep it safe until you need it again. The heat press was preheated at 165 to 170 degrees Celsius, and I'm going to preheat the dress to make it ready to accept our rhinestone design. Now this removes moisture and dampness from the dress. Okay, so we're going to heat it for like 10 seconds. As per standard practices, this is a perfect time to use your lint roller to remove debris and extra threads from the surface of the fabric. Now I'm going to be placing the design on the denim. Okay, I'm going to be placing it on the back of the dress, and I'll try as much as possible to get my placement right. Now one bad thing about this placement is if you get it wrong initially and you start moving it or adjusting it, one of your letters might go wrong. Okay, and I hope it doesn't happen to me here. Okay, oh my god, oh my god, it wasn't really well centered, and as I just moved it now, I hope one of my letters is not going to be messed up. As a matter of fact, the whole design, hopefully. Okay, so I'm now trying to see if any one of them moved, and obviously one did. I'm just trying to arrange it, but really the best thing is to place it on the fabric once. Place it on your project once. Don't try to rearrange it here, because the rhinestones are going to move, all right, and it might just mess up everything. So I pray that when I heat it, everything is going to come out perfect. Now I'm going to press it for 10 to 15 seconds, allowing the glue to adhere the rhinestone to the dress. I'm going to raise it up, allow it to cool for some time, and then remove the transfer sheet. Okay, so I'm going to allow it to cool for a while. Now that it has cooled off, I'm going to peel it diagonally. Okay, from this point, I'm going to gently start pulling it up. Okay, gently, all right, while watching to see if my rhinestone is going to pull up. But because I allowed it to cool, it won't really pull up. All right, once it's very hot, you pull it up, there's a possibility of the rhinestone coming up. Now I'm not really very satisfied with the look of my first bee, but so far so good. And now I'm going to be pressing on it for another 5 to 10 seconds. Now some people turn it inside out to press it to make sure that it stays, but I don't really do that. Okay, the thing is already adhered. I mean, mere looking at it, you will know. All right, and there you have it, your beautiful rhinestone designed denim or any kind of project that you want to create. This is giving. Okay, I love this. All right, so this came out beautiful, it came out perfect. My words are well aligned. Ooh. And now, lovely, you know you can use everything here to create your own rhinestone templates. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, share your thoughts at the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and I will see you in the next one. Until later, lovelies.